10th. Welcome to the online tutorial sessions for economics. I am Avnash Lambert, your economics guru, and today we are going to continue our second chapter, which is sectors of the Indian economy. Students, in today's video we are going to continue with the chapter and going to start the new topic, that how to create more employment. Students, in this video we are going to learn with several things that how we can generate more employment. Now the first method, the first way by which we can increase the employment is by increasing irrigational facilities. Now how increasing irrigational facilities is going to give the employment? Now providing wells and tube wells. If we are providing wells and tube wells to the farmers, it will help the farmers to grow multiple crops. They can grow multiple crops in the whole year. In the whole year, they are going to grow 2 to 3 or more than 3 crops in a whole year. So this solves the problem of underemployment. In the previous video, you learned about what is underemployment. Underemployment means if someone is working for few months and the remaining months he is unemployed, that is unemployment. But due to that, multiple crops, he can grow multiple crops because he is having irrigation facilities and rest of things he can buy it by himself. Then in that case, he can grow crops for the whole year and the problem of underemployment is solved. Now the second one, easy availability of loans. Now if we are providing loans to the farmers, this can also help the problem of unemployment. We can have the more employment generation. Now if loans are made available to the farmers, if we provide loans to the farmers, artisans or people who are self-employed, artisans who are in the village area, they made some man-made things, handmade things, artisans, craftsmen, and self-employed, people who are self-employed, they do things with themselves only. They do things on a single person, individual level. So if we provide them loans at reasonable interest rate, their interest rate is minimized. That is not the average interest rate, but their interest rate should be reasonable so that they can buy fertilizers, good quality seeds, can arrange tube well and other important inputs. Input means raw material. So these people, they need some input, they need raw material for the production or whatever services they are going to do. For them they need some sort of inputs, and a farmer requires fertilizers, good quality seeds, and he needs the tube well. So in that case, if we provide them loans at a reasonable rate, then they can arrange it on a very easy note and they can work for the whole year. Because they can have the loans on a easy reasonable rate, they can work for the whole year. Their money doesn't finish in the half of the year or after 4 months. They can have the facility of credit, the loan. So that also helps in increasing the employment generation. So we have completed the 2 points. Let's come to the third one, which is by promoting non-farm activities. Other than agriculture, we can do some more things and this will generate employment. So government should promote infrastructural development. They must work on the producing more infrastructural developments, like infrastructure means roads, irrigation projects like dams, power generation. If the government is working on infrastructural development like building roads, building dams, bridges, power generation and irrigation project, this will provide lots of employment to the locals. This will provide help, this will provide employment to the locals who are living there, who are unemployed. So this will help the locals and will also help the farmers, because irrigation projects will help the farmers. They will cut down their production cost. Fine. Roads will help them in the transportation. Their transportation cost will also cut down. So these are the things which are required by a farmer, and the locals also, they can have the employment generation. So by promoting non-farm activities, the government can increase the employment generation. Now students, the fourth one, which is improving the transport and warehousing facilities. Now, if we improve the transport and warehousing facilities, we can have more employment generation. How? See, there are so many villages and non-urban areas which are not connected. Mind it, there are so many villages and non-urban areas which are not connected through railways, and they don't even have the storage facilities. You know what is storage facilities? To store our produced goods for a longer period and make them safe. Fine. So there are so many rural areas or non-urban areas and villages area which don't have the facility of transportation. So if we are improving our transportation and giving them housing, warehousing facilities, then also we can improve the employment rate. How? Farmers need to transport their produced goods and also to keep them safe. There are a great scope of employment in air transport, rail transport, road transport, and also in the warehousing and storage facility. If someone in their village can have the warehousing facility, then he can have the employment for the whole year. There are so many farmers who need to keep their produced goods safe for the whole year, for a particular season. Then that person of having the warehousing facility can earn some money, he can have the income. And also in the air transport, rail transport, road transport, there is a lot of scope for the employment. Lots of employment generation can be done. The next one is by encouraging small scale and cottage industries. Small scale and cottage industries are basically in the rural areas where the factories are at their homes only, or they have a very small manufacturing place where they can work and produce some of the handmaids and smaller goods. Now, in the small scale and cottage industries, less capital is required. They don't need very much amount of money to establish or start a cottage or small scale industries, and that is totally labor intensive thing. Means more of the people, labor are working, not more machineries are required. Labor is required. People are required to do the work and not the machineries. So it will create more employment opportunities. Obviously, where people are required, not machineries, that will provide more of the employment, and it removes underemployment and disguise unemployment. Both of them can be removed by this, encouraging the small scale and cottage industries. Now, cold storage units, food processing units, honey collection centers, they should be set up in the rural areas so that more generation can be done. In the warehousing, you already know, where stuffs, goods are kept there safe and soundly. Food processing unit, where the collection of food is there and they are processed, they are cleaned up, they are taken in the processing unit. Honey collection, where the honey is being collected and that is put on for sale. So this should be set up so that small scale industries and cottage industries can also prosper, and this will provide employment generation also. It will help in the employment generation. Now students, the next one, by more industrialization, by setting up more industries in the rural areas or in the urban areas, by setting up more industries in rural areas, more employment generation can be done, and by giving daily wages to the unskilled worker, to the locals. By more industrialization, there will be more industries and there will be much more laborers, or unskilled labor will be required. Those unskilled people, they can only take the heavy loads of things from one place to another. So unskilled labor is also required, and basically the locals are the ones who join this work in the, especially in the rural areas. So if we are promoting more industries in the rural areas, it will give help to the daily wages labor and the unskilled labor for the work, and that's how it will generate the employment. Now students, the seventh one, employment in education. Now according to Niti Aayog, which was previously known as Planning Commission, between 5 to 9 years of age group of people, only 51% are attending educational institution. It's very sad to see only 51% of people, students, are attending the educational institutes, and 20 lakh jobs can be created in education sector also. There are so 51% only they are attending the schools, and 20 lakh jobs can be created in the education sector. How? By more schools. If we are building more schools, it means more buildings will be required, more teachers and more helpers will be required, and people can go to schools now, because there are so many places where education facilities are not even reached. They don't have schools. So that's how we can create more employment, and also we can impart education to the people where the schools are not reached. Now the next one is employment in health sector. Now students, more hospitals means more employment generation. If we are producing more hospitals, it means more employment generation in the form of more doctors, more nurses and other supporting staffs. And especially it will be benefits in the times of pandemic like today. In today's time, we need so much of doctors, nurses and other supporting staff. And if we have lots of hospitals, then we can survive the times of pandemics, and also employment generation will be there. Now the last one, employment in tourism. Now, basically tourism in India is in the developing state. It's not grown that much. It is in the developing stage right now. It is developing slowly and slowly it's developing. And this tourism sector is mostly labor intensive. Mostly done by the people only, not by the machinery. And it will lead to the more hotels. It will lead to the more restaurants, more amusement parks, adventure and water sports complexes. And these things should be developed. They should be set up. More hotels, more restaurants, more amusement parks, adventure sports and water sports complex must be set up. And if we have managed to set up these things, 30 lakh people can be employed. There are so many people, guides are required, so much roadside dhabas are working on the basis of just for the tourism. So these are the things which can increase the employment generation in India. So we have covered our today's topic, how to create more employment. Now there is one more thing which you need to learn in today's video, and that will be the last thing for this video. Come to the next topic. Now we are here with the last topic for today's video, which is MGNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005. So we have to learn about this act which the government enacted in the year 2005 and how this helped in the generation of employment. Now students, this act was passed in the year 2005. This act was passed in the year 2005 by the Indian government for what? For promoting rural employment, so that rural employment can be promoted. People in the rural areas get much more work, they get the employment. Now, what this act actually did, this act provided 100 days of guaranteed employment. This act provided that each and every person who is in the rural areas and is living below the poverty line will get 100 days of guaranteed work in the employment. For the employment, they will get the employment for the 100 days, and that was guaranteed. To whom? To the persons living below the poverty line in the rural areas. And that employment was only given to those people who are living below the poverty line, and they were also living in the rural areas. And the wage rate was given as 100 rupees per day. Fine. The wage rate which was given was 100 rupees per day. And if person is not provided employment, suppose someone got missed, he has not provided the employment, then he will be given unemployment allowance, in which the government will pay him the 1/3 of this wage rate. The government will provide them the 1/3 of this wage rate, and so that that person can have the unemployment allowance. Now, previously in the year 2006 and 2007, it covered 200 districts. In 2007-2008, it covered 330 districts, and now it is known as the right to work. The government renamed this scheme as right to work. They have passed an act that right to work. This MG Narega Act is also known as right to work, and in about 625 districts of India. Right now it is in about 625 districts in India. So basically, let's sum up things. MG Narega 2005 was passed in the year 2005 by the government, and it was for the promotion of rural employment. This act provided 100 days of guaranteed employment to persons living in the poverty line and in the rural areas, and at the wage rate of 100 rupees per day. And if the person is not provided employment, then he will be given the unemployment allowance. In the previous years, 2006-2007, it covered 200 districts, and in 2007-2008 it covered 330 districts, and right now it's known as right to work also, and in about 625 districts of India it is present right now. So students, that's all for today's video. I hope you all have understood it, and stay home, stay safe, and see you soon.